All right, so you guys are supposed to do branch briefs. I'm going to do mine. It's going to be really quick. You guys are going to choose your own branches, what you think you're interested in. I'm just going to do mine for an example. So I'm based out of chemical, my original branch, the MOS 74 alpha. So what that is CBRN. It used to be called MDC. That's CBRN, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear. Slideshow. Okay, so our duty, the Chemical Corps' primary duty is to protect U.S. Army. Right? We are not using weapons of mass destruction. We're not using chemical warfare. Our job is to protect the force. We do that through decontamination, diluting. That's pretty much it. Just keep us safe. So we'll plot, if there was a nuclear blast, we're going to plot the blast, and then we're going to plot where we expect fallout patterns to go. And then we'll go out and we'll mark the areas for what's contaminated. The best example of this in action would be the Soviet Union when Chernobyl happened. And all the radiation went in the air. So their chemical corps went around with their rad detectors, it's radiation detectors, just going around and plotting. Here's a spike, don't go here. Here's a spike, don't go here. That's generally what CBRN would do. 85% of the force is in the reserve component, and the biggest reason for that is we are concerned with an attack on U.S. soil. And that's where we come up with CRE, CBRN Response Enterprise. This is where we are going to integrate with local law enforcement and state law enforcement. And where the idea is Seattle gets hit with a dirty bomb. It's like a mix of a nuclear blast or chemical blast. So there's going to be collapsed structures, there's going to be people there, or a 9/11 attack. Our job is to go in and rescue those people, and then also mark the territory where you shouldn't be going. All right. This is in support of what we call DISCA. All right, that's Defense in Support of Civil Authorities. All right. 15% of us is active duty. That's composition 1. There's 3 compositions that the U.S. Army is made of. Reserve is Compo 3. National Guard is Compo 2. About 22,000 soldiers. You'll go to Fort Leonard Wood for your MOS. So if you're an officer or enlisted, that's where you go. Fort Leonard Wood is the Maneuver Support Center of Excellence. They have military police as well as engineers under their command. All the units are spread across the U.S. Our largest operation, which happens every year, is currently called Operation Guardian Response. So there's a large-scale exercise in a place called Muscatatuck. And chemical goes there, engineers go there, MPs go there. If you're in a unit, your unit will be designated for this CRE mission for 2 years. 1 year is train up. The next year is, let's say, you're on call. You're not getting paid unless an event happens, but you're ready to be called up at any moment. And then you hand off all of your equipment, once you've been issued for that mission, to the next unit that's going to be taking it over. I will say I've done a lot of military training, and the best training I've ever done is this thing called search and extraction, search and rescue. Is rappelling, cutting open cars, digging trenches, confined spaces, crawling through large water pipes. That was probably the best training the Army's ever given me. So, yes. This is what you can expect if you go chemical. All right, so when you guys do your own branch briefs, I expect it to be something like that. It's going to be 3 to 5 minutes. It's fairly low threat, just where you're at and what you're interested in. For the rest of today, we're going to be talking about customs and courtesies. And the first thing we go into is a movie. Well, it's a TV show, actually. All right, so if you have not seen this, called Band of Brothers, it's a great series from like 2001, put on by Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks. It's pretty good. So to set this up, the main guy here, he was a lieutenant when the war started. The war started with Pearl Harbor, and I believe he was already in as a second lieutenant. And then they get deployed to Europe, and he does a great job. So right now he's a major. All right, so he got promoted to major in 4 years because of the war. All right, so the guy that's going to come across him is a captain who was actually this guy's commanding officer. So he leapfrogged him. The enlist guy salutes.
Captain Sobel?
The captain just moving
Major
on.
Winters.
Captain Sobel. We salute the rank, not the man.
Additionally, no one likes that. Okay, so this is an ego check, right? This would be similar to I'm a major and I rank all you guys, and then suddenly you're now a colonel or a lieutenant colonel. Like, okay, I guess you guys aren't ranking now, even though I've been in longer. So there's a big ego check there, but the point is clear. You are saluting the rank, even if you don't like the man, right? The person, right? That is part of the military customs and courtesies. Okay, so your learning objectives, we're going to identify military ranks. I believe I did a Kahoot for this one, so we'll do the Kahoot at the end. When you're going to salute at appropriate times, what passing the colors are, what you do during the national anthem, and military music. All those starting with identifying our military rank. This is going to be really dry if you guys are familiar with it. If you're not, it's going to be great. E1 has no rank. You do not have an insignia. You're just, there's nothing on your chest, nothing on your hat. It's just blank. All right. Normally, can you guys read that? Yeah. So it's private E1. They are. Question?
No, just scratching.
Oh, okay. Again, when you come in, you're essentially a recruit. You're going to basic training. And I've said it before, if you're an E1 and you've been in for more than 6 months, you've been demoted because you did something wrong. You pick up E2, I believe it's 3 months to get private E2. Basically, you've gone through basic training here, and now you're in AIT. All right, this is your advanced individual training. This is where they're getting their MOSs. Okay, the MOS, it could be. Infantry is actually pretty short because it's combined with basic. It's like 4 to 6 weeks. But this guy could be a cyber person, and he's going to be doing cyber training for a full year. So he's going to pick up, they should pick up E3 around 9 months after this. And then you're going to pick up E4. E4 is divided into 2 ranks, okay? The cool one, this is Eagle holding, clutching. I believe it's a branch and leaf. Or an arrow, and that's a specialist rank. This is going to be the most common rank you're going to see in the force. Like realistically, this is going to be the rank you see the most. The corporal, all right, the 2 stripes, those are usually reserved for combat arms. So if you're not combat arm, infantry, armor, you're probably not going to see the corporal. You're going to see a specialist. They make the same. So this one is clearly identified as a non-commissioned officer with expected responsibilities and duties that the specialist would not have. You're going to pick up E5. Normally this happens around year 4. It can be slower depending on your MOS, but it's 3, right? 3 stripes. 1, 2, 3. 3 stripes. You're going to pick up E6 after that. So 1, 2, 3 stripes, and then we call this the rocker. All right, so you get 1 stripe on the bottom. That's an E6 staff sergeant. Next rank, sergeant first class. You get 2 rockers, right? 1, 2, 3 stripes. 1, 2 rockers. Then you get to E8. E8 is going to be called a master sergeant. The position is going to be a first sergeant. First sergeant can be identified by a diamond. Okay, so 3 stripes, 3 rockers, and a diamond. Okay, this person will be an E8, but because of their position, they're going to be a first sergeant. Master Sergeant Penn, Master Sergeant, if he moved into a position, he would be the first sergeant. All right, it's just duty related, but they're both E8s. So this person can be first sergeant, and they will rotate back to just being a master sergeant. Okay. Then you get to E9. So this is going to be the highest rank in the enlisted chain. All right, this is a sergeant major with a star. Okay, a command sergeant major has a wreath. You can see it has a wreath on the side of the stars. Just like this rank, the difference here is E9. This person is in a command position. That would be a battalion sergeant major. So he is the highest E9 in the battalion. He is an advisor to the battalion commander. They will also be a brigade command sergeant major, a division sergeant major, a corps sergeant major, but they will remain an E9 sergeant major, advisor to the commander for the rest of their time. Then the single lone person is the sergeant major of the Army. It's very special, and there's only one of them. All right, there's only one of them. This actually represents the highest pay in the enlisted chain. If and when you guys deploy, something to know, your money is tax-free up to this person's what their salary is. This person makes more than a captain over here, probably makes as much as a major. But if you were like a colonel, you're going to be tax-free until you hit this person's threshold of pay, whatever that's going to be, and then you'll start getting taxed after that. Just an FYI, that will not affect you unless you deploy, in which case you're going to be in for 20 years, so you'll have learned all this anyways. All right, so we're going to jump right here because the next ranks are actually the warrant officers. Okay, warrant officer, their title is going to be Mr. All right, Mr. Smith, Miss or Mrs. Smith. Okay, Mr. Warrant Officer 1. There are aviation flight warrant officers. They come in off the street. So if they're 19 and they have a semester in college, they can just come in right off the street. Normally, this person would have had to have been a staff sergeant with some sort of expertise, and then they go to warrant officer school, warrant officer candidate school, and then they get an MOS specific to what they used to know as enlisted, and they become the subject matter expert. They're going to be a warrant officer, I believe, for 1 to 2 years, and then they're going to pick up chief warrant officer. All right, and you can see, very simple, they have 2 squares instead of 1. This person is realistically equivalent to a first lieutenant. Then you get chief warrant officer 3 with 3 squares. They are equivalent to an 003 captain. And then you have a chief warrant officer 4, and they are almost equivalent to a major. They can hold command of certain units. And then the chief warrant officer 5, which is so it's going to have an outline, and there's going to be a solid line inside. Okay, it should be red, but if it's subdued, it'll be black. It is very easy to mistake this rank for first lieutenant rank. Okay, when they're on the uniform, really what you're going to go with is you look to be like 60 years old and you look to be 25. So if it's an old looking person and you're unfamiliar, it's probably a chief warrant officer, just so you know. All right. So now we're going to go up to our next rank, which is going to be the officer ranks. Okay, second lieutenant, gold bar, colloquially called the butter bar because it looks like a stick of butter. Second lieutenant. When you commission, you are a second lieutenant. You're going to be a second lieutenant for about 1.5 years. You're going to go to your basic officer leader course. You're going to get your MOS. That's going to take a few months. You're going to hit your force at about 1 year. You will probably pick up first lieutenant within 6 months of arriving at your first unit. You're going to be a first lieutenant for another year and a half after that, up to 2.5 years. It depends on whether the Army is expanding or shrinking, whether they're hiring people or firing. If they have more positions, you get promoted sooner. If they have less positions, it takes longer, right? If there's no opening, there's nowhere to go. So then you're going to pick up captain, likely to be 3 to 4 years. All right. I commissioned November of 2010, and I picked up captain May of 2015. So what was that, 4.5 years? Pick up captain. My buddy, who commissioned December of 2010, picked up in 2016. So he commissioned 1 month after me, but didn't promote for a full year behind me because we just hit a point in that time, 2015, where we were trying to shrink the force, and he just missed out by a month. He's in the wrong group. You're going to serve most of your career as a captain. I was captain from 2015 to 2022. So that's 7 years, 6 to 7 years. Okay? You're going to spend the majority of your time as a captain for a long time. You're going to pick up major. You're going to do that for about 4 years. And so you should be year 1.5, year 3, plus 7 is year 10. Let's say you're kind of slow, that's 5 years. So you're going to pick up lieutenant colonel around year 16. Then you're going to do this for 3 years. You can be a lieutenant colonel for the rest of your career. All right. Right when you're in this zone here, you're going to get looked at for promotion with the rest of your year group. And if you don't get selected, you're going to go to what we call above the zone selection, because that means you're now behind your year group. And if you don't pick up your second look, you're probably going to get kicked out of the Army. Okay. The reason you don't get picked up is because there's probably something defective with you, which is maybe you have a DUI. You have what we call a GOMAR, General Officer Memorandum of Reprimand. You did something really bad. It's in your file, and the people that are promoting you, the board, are going to say, oh, this is a bad fit. We don't want them anymore. And so they're going to pass you over twice, and they're going to boot you out. This happens again in captain. This happens again in major. When you finally pin on lieutenant colonel, you are good until the rest of your career. You'll get your 20, and then they'll say, hey, you know what? We no longer need you to serve. We're going to let you retire. If they like you, they're going to make you a battalion commander, and then you're going to pick up colonel, 06 colonel. You can pick up this in like 3 years. You can pick up this quick, okay? Basically, once you get selected for this, you are on a short list for everything. There's not too many colonels. There's certainly less generals. But basically, at this point, the Department of Defense and the Army, start looking at you as a person and not a number, and say, we like this person, they're a great fit, we're going to get them into positions because we want them to be a general, or not. And then you retire as a colonel. So this is, again, it's a bar. This is a bar. This is an oak leaf. It's gold. I'm wearing the subdued one right now. It's still gold. When you're a lieutenant colonel, it's silver. It's still an oak leaf. When it's subdued, it's black. All right. So this is an oak leaf. Colonel's an eagle. Personally, I think that's the coolest rank you got. And then you pick up general. So 1-star brigadier general, 2 stars major. Lieutenant general is 3 stars. This person normally doesn't command anything. This person commands a division. This person commands a corps, which is 3 divisions. This person will command an army, a field army. This is the highest rank we currently have in the Army. We are not promoting 5 stars. All right. The last 5-star that we had was General Omar Bradley, and he died in 1989. So we haven't had a 5-star in 35, 36 years. All right. Barring World War III, we probably won't have another 5-star. Okay. And I mentioned it before, our one lone 6-star would be General George Washington, who was not a 6-star general when he served, but 200 years go by and make it back. Okay, so when to salute. Was there a video with this one? There is a video with this one. Okay, so this no one knows exactly when you salute. You know when to salute. No one knows where the history ever comes from. We think it goes back to ancient Roman times. Certainly, we can trace it back to knights. Knights used to have helmets on. You would lift up your visor. There you go. That's your salute. You're lifting up the visor, and just so you know, like, hey, you know me. I'm a friend. All right. American history throughout the years, some of it has been removing the hat, and it's been touching the hat. It has changed over time. So there is a video that we're going to watch, which comes from the Drill Sergeant Academy. For all things Customs and Courtesies, most of that's enlisted driven and enlisted managed, and they hold the standard. Okay, the NCO is the standard bearer, so this is why this comes from the Drill Sergeant Academy. And we're going to hit play. It looks like it's 3 minutes long.
The next movement, which I will name, explain, have demonstrated, and which you will conduct practical work on, is the hand salute. This movement is used when reporting and to render courtesy and respect to officers, the flag, and the nation. The commands for this movement are present arms and order arms. Present arms and order arms are two-part commands. Present and order being the preparatory command, and arms is the command of execution. When given, these commands are as follows. Present arms. Order arms. Demonstrator, pose. I will use the talk-through method of instruction. The hand salute is a one-count movement. When wearing headgear with a visor with or without glasses, on the command of execution arms of present arms, raise the right hand sharply, fingers and thumb extended and joined, palm facing down, and place the tip of the right forefinger on the rim of the visor slightly to the right of the right eye. The outer edge of the hand is barely canted downward, so that neither the back of the hand nor the palm is clearly visible from the front. The hand and wrist are straight, the elbow inclines slightly forward, and the upper arm is horizontal. Order arms from the hand salute is a one-count movement. On the command of execution arms of order arms, return the hand sharply to the side, resuming the position of attention. Remove your headgear. When wearing headgear without a visor or uncovered, and wearing glasses, on the command of execution arms of present arms, execute the hand salute as previously described, except touch the tip of the right forefinger to that point in the glasses where the temple piece of the frame meets the right edge of the right brow. Order arms is executed as previously described. Remove your glasses. When wearing headgear without a visor or uncovered and not wearing glasses, on the command of execution arms of present arms, execute the hand salute as previously described, except touch the tip of the right forefinger to the forehead near and slightly to the right of the right eyebrow. Order arms is executed as previously described. When reporting or rendering courtesy to an individual, turn the head and eyes toward the person addressed and simultaneously salute. In this situation, the actions are executed without command. The salute is initiated by the subordinate at the appropriate time and terminated upon acknowledgement. The hand salute may be executed while marching. When double timing, a soldier must come to quick time before saluting. Note, when a formation is marching at double time, only the individual in charge assumes quick time and salutes. At normal cadence, these movements would look as follows. Present arms. Order arms. Demonstrator, replace your glasses. Present arms. Order arms. Demonstrator, replace your headgear. Present arms. Order arms. At ease. What are your questions pertaining to this movement when executed at normal cadence or using the talk-through method of instruction? Demonstrator, attention! You will now become my assistant instructor. Follow! Meets the right edge of the right brow. Order arms is covered and not wearing glasses. One count movement. On the command of
what rank is she? What do you say?
It's the E6.
You got 3 on top, 1 on the bottom. What rank is that? Three stripes, 1 rocker.
E6, right?
Yep. What's the rank? So you're gonna come across this all the time. There's a difference between your grade and your rank. Okay, your grade is what you're authorized, and normally that has to do with like pay, administrative stuff. So an E6 is the grade. All right. So what's the rank? Run through it. Is it private? Is it private first class? Is it a specialist? Is it a sergeant? What's a sergeant? E5 sergeant. How many stripes?
It's 3 on top.
What else? Anything else?
There's no rocker.
Nope, just 3, right? No rocker. Okay, so what's the next rank?
Staff sergeant.
Staff sergeant. There you go. Okay, I think it's hard to say. I think this is also a staff sergeant. I believe they only have the 1 rocker. So. Okay, so important things to know. When she's talking about is you're in double time. Double time means you're running, right? You're running in formation. Double time. Quick time means you're just back to walking, right? It's a fast pace, but you're just walking. You do not salute when running. All right. Another thing is when you're PTing, right? When we're working out, you are not going to stop. Like if we were just running a 2 mile and the general is watching you, you're not going to stop. You're just going to keep going, right? When you are working out, you work out. You won't stop. You'll just go. Like we did the battalion run. Was that September 11th? Yeah, we did the battalion run. Right, you're not going to stop because you are in a unit, but we were PTing, so you're just going to keep on going. All right. If you are marching and you're in uniform and you're just double timing to get somewhere faster, normally you won't do it, but if you're just doing it to get there faster and it's not part of your physical training, yeah, the person who is running the formation, they will quick time and they will salute. The rest of the people do not salute. Only the person commanding the formation salutes. Okay. You don't salute while sitting down, like ever. If you are indoors, you will only report when saluting. Or sorry, you only salute when reporting. Okay. You will only report at a very specific time, i.e., the commander calls you into the office and you're going to report in. You'll knock on the door. Sir, Lieutenant Clover request permission to enter the room. The commander will say, granted, come in. You're going to walk in. You're going to render, position attention, render the salute. Good morning, sir. Lieutenant Clover reporting his order. All right. You're going to sit there until they say at ease or stand attention, and then when you're going to render, you're going to do order arms, right? You're going to cut the salute back to whatever position you're supposed to be in. All right. Anytime you enter the commander's office, just so you know, you're not always reporting. All right. You might just be entering to talk to them. Okay. It's not always a report. Report is normally a formal thing. All right. Like I said, times when you're not going to have your headgear on, you might be on a flight path. You might be in a spot where it says no headgear authorized. The reason you don't want a hat or patrol cap on a flight path is because it gets sucked into the jet engines. Or again, there's a helicopter and it's just going to blow away anyways, right? So you don't wear it. But you would still salute. There's going to be other areas. There's going to be no salute areas. It will be designated. Don't salute here. They are in a lot of places, but it's going to be clearly demonstrated. Don't salute here. No salute, no hat area. That'll be wherever you go, right? It's depending on where you are. Any other big questions about saluting? For the most part, you're going to salute everywhere you go because you outrank everyone or everyone outranks you. And you're just saluting everybody. It's actually It's actually fairly annoying. Most people don't like it, which is great when you're in a unit with a lot of captains, and you're a captain too, because you don't have to salute the same rank. But again, if they outrank you, which as a second lieutenant is basically everybody, you salute pretty much everyone that comes across, or every enlisted person that's passing and every warrant officer that's passing, you outrank them technically. So they're saluting, and when they salute, you are expected to return the salute. Okay? It's essentially them saying, "Hi, I recognize you," and you're saying, "Hi, thank you for recognizing me." All right? Do we bring it up later? We'll get into the practical exercise at the end. I think we go with when in doubt, whip it out, right? When in doubt, salute. Like, I don't know what rank you are, whatever, I'm going to salute. There's a lot of enlisted that you're going to come across that have chip on the shoulder for whatever reason. They don't like officers, and a lot of them will just not salute you by virtue of you being a lieutenant or even a captain, and they just don't like you. Like, they don't like you essentially for the rank. Okay, you should stop them and correct them every time. It could be a sergeant major. Going back to this guy, it could be this guy who's been in for 25 years, and you're a lieutenant. So you know nothing, and they've been in for 25 years, and they're a grizzled war veteran. They, as a professional, should salute you. And I'm going to let you know, it's kind of a story. It's a normal story. You're going to hear it a lot. They want to know if you're a courageous or brave individual. And all they see is a rank. And so they're going to walk right past you and not salute you. And they are challenging you to actually stop them and say, okay, 20-year-old, will you actually stop me based on your rank? And you should. If they're walking past you and they don't salute, you say, Sergeant Major, you need to salute because I outrank you, even if you're a second lieutenant, right? Because, like, we go back to the original video, you salute the rank, not the person. Okay. So a lot of them love doing it. It's kind of a joke. It's like an inside joke to them. What are you going to do, second lieutenant? Okay. Again, it's customs and courtesies, right? They salute you, you return the salute. One thing that I'll say bad officers do is they, on that exact note, they'll see that, and maybe it's a private who just doesn't know, or they don't recognize the ranks yet because they're really, really, really junior. And they might just walk past you, and I've seen officers stop them and say, hey, you need to salute. And then they show them to salute, and they say, cut it, and it's like, okay, sorry. When they salute you, you have to return the salute, okay? And so you can't just tell them to keep saluting you like 20 times while you're doing nothing, right? When they salute, you must return the salute. Otherwise, you also look like a jerk, all right? You're going to see officers do that, and they're going to make an ass out of themselves. So, okay. So responding to passing the colors, you need to know what colors are. Okay, colors represent a nation, a state, a unit. Okay, right? It's a flag. Okay, you know ours, red, white, and blue. We got the 50 stars. I'm from California. California has a bear on the flag. Okay, those are colors. They represent something. This goes back to 17th century, Western Europe, England, France. You imagine that someone's walking around. They didn't have real uniforms back then. Okay, a knight might just be in armor. Right? It's just silver or silver color, gray color. So you have you're not putting a flag on there, right? It wasn't. They hadn't adopted the Industrial Revolution yet, so they didn't have uniforms like we do today. So you would have a flag, and the flag is what people rally around and say, oh, I'm part of that flag. Whatever that flag is, those are your colors. They ended up having regimental systems. Again, this goes back to England, where you were fighting for your city. They didn't really have cities, right? They had towns, townships, hamlets. Then that would be your regiment. So regiment had a lot of history. We've gone away from regiments for a lot of the, let's say, the last 100 years. 50 years, we moved on from that. It helps you identify positions on the battlefield. And so, again, you go back to they didn't have cell phones or radios in 1600, 1800, whatever. And so you would have a flag person communicating that, like, I want flag number one, whoever they are, to move, and you're going to be signaling that. Okay? So that's why flags are important. Fog battle people get lost, right? They do. And again, you go back to, you might think it was stupid for people to get in the line and just shoot at each other in the Civil War and Revolutionary War, but there's a reason they did it, because it's really hard to command and control people. But if you're in the box formation, control the box. Focal point for the units to dress on, color party leads units, and yeah, this person who's holding the flag is charging forward, and they are at the front of the formation. Okay, we still do that today. The flag is at the front, and everyone in that unit is following the flag. All right. So a little bit of history. Okay, so this is, if you ever do history, where did the nation state come from? Because we used to just be feudalism, kingdoms, right? We weren't states, we weren't nations. This came from the 30 Years' War. Okay, 30 Years' War was a war in Europe between Protestants and Catholics, and they're just killing each other for 30 years. It's, as we look back at it now, you're like, you guys are both Christian. Why are you killing each other? Right? It's a very stupid war to have. And so that's because they didn't have national borders, right? They had the kingdoms, and they weren't like codified, and so people were just kind of seizing power and taking power. I rule this land, you don't. Okay. So then this is where they have something called the Treaty of Westphalia, 1648. So if it's 30 Years' War, 30 Years' War started in 1618, 30 years before. Got it? So they have the Treaty of Peace of Westphalia, and this lays the state for the modern nation state. It outlines actual borders, and it outlines what a nation had. One additional factor of that was people. If you were not a lord, a landowner, you couldn't move from one place to another, right? You were a peasant, and you were a subject of your king. So you couldn't even move from one nation to another. I mean, nations will exist, but you were just where you were born. That was it for you. You couldn't move. Treaty recognized fixed territorial boundaries, affirmed the rights of those states to govern their internal affairs, and this represents the, let's say, the official, it's not the downfall of Catholic Church, obviously it's still here, but the reduction of authority from the Catholic Church. Until around this time, really 1648, if you wanted to do anything or settle disputes, you would go to the church and ask the church for permission. Okay, so the Pope had, limitless power, basically. So that is where colors come from, where the state comes from. When you salute, slide. Yes. Okay. So saluting colors, again, the way we have a hierarchy. Okay. The federal U.S. trumps everybody, so they were all, if it's going to be on a height thing, they're always going to be higher than all the other flags, whether it's your state or your unit, or they're going to be in the front. Okay. Front and center. Military personnel passing an uncased national color, national and organizational flags. Okay, so passing colors means that where you can actually see the picture, right? That person's going to walk with their staff, or whatever it's called, a pike and a flag, and that is moving past you. Okay, those are the passing colors, and you will salute it as it passes. There's national music that we have. It goes back to like John Philip Sousa 150 years ago. Honestly, probably 150 years ago at this point. We have a band. A lot of bands all over the place. They perform official ceremonies. Sometimes they play in a park near where I live. They do venues. They're musicians. Normally, they're high school musicians. They join the Army. They're specialists. They actually promote pretty fast. They're all enlisted. They know all kinds of songs. They don't just play the old boring songs. They'll play pop songs. They play whatever they want. It used to be a rallying feature, I think, for morale. Right, that's officially why it's here, is to keep up morale of the troops. So we have 3 official things that you need to respect and do something about, and then we have things called ruffles and flourishes, stars and stripes forever. They'll play. You don't need to do anything about it. The Army goes rolling along. That is our motto. The Marines have their thing, which is like the halls of Montezuma. For the short triple area, this is the Marine thing. Every branch has their own. Ours is called The Army Goes Rolling Along. I'm going to play it in a second. When the song is played, you are expected to stand at attention and sing it. Okay? So you will memorize it. It's 3 stanzas, not a chorus, right? It's stanzas, 3 blocks. We'll play it. You're going to stand in here and sing it. And it's going to start something to shout, the Army song, and then you'll start. Okay? Star Spangled Banner, you guys all heard that one. If you're in uniform, you will salute. If you're not in uniform, hand over the chest, hand over the heart. Okay, so if you go to a football game, baseball game, any kind of game, and they do Star Spangled Banner, that's where you should be. Standing at attention, hand over the heart, or saluting, depending on what you're wearing. Reveille, retreat, and taps. This has to do with the raising of the flag, lowering the flag. When you wake up in the morning, every base has a different time they do it. Normally, it's associated with sunrise and sunset. Some do it earlier. Most bases do it at 6:30, which the time is actually pretty inconvenient because you're normally doing PT at that time. And so what you will start doing if it's at 6:30 is you're going to have your first formation at 6:25, and then you're just going to stand there until Reveille starts, like everyone wake up. And you're going to turn to, if you can see the flag, you're going to turn the flag. If not, you're going to hear it come over loudspeakers. You turn to wherever you hear it coming from. The whole unit will turn. You will salute. It will stop. Like it'll finish. It'll complete. And then you will order arms, come back to the whatever position you were in. And then you'll start your PT. That's pretty much how every day goes. 6:25, you're going to do formation, get accountability. You're going to wait. Reveille is going to go off, and then you're going to continue with whatever PT is for the day. Retreat is normally around 5 p.m. If you are on base driving a car, you're expected to pull over, get out of your car, and salute wherever the music's coming from. So what you're going to see is a mad dash for people to get off post. Okay, people want to be off. Yeah, it's just a thing. You should be more patriotic, but people want to get off base before it goes off because it's just inconvenient for a lot of people. Salute, face flag, or sound of music. And with that, every official song are played at the conclusion of every official ceremony. If someone's getting promoted and you're in like an auditorium, and it's a formal thing, you're going to play the Army Goes Rolling Along. Okay? And so here, hopefully it is. Okay, so until about 2012, like the song was always the same, but we didn't used to sing the first part. It's pretty lame, to be honest. But we used to just sing the following 2 stanzas. Okay, but now since like 2012, we've had to sing the whole thing. Just so you know. they go count off the cadence loud and strong, the next word is four. Okay, so you're gonna go count off the latest, count strong, and silently you're gonna say 2, 3, 4. Okay, so count off the cadence loud and strong. 2, 3. Pause. That's the rhythm of it. So hand salute. We've done the Army song. You guys will memorize that over time. And all right, with 9 minutes left, we talked about military rank, when you should salute. Another thing people are going to do to you, if they like you, you're going to have a platoon, and they're going to do it every couple of months to mess with you. They're going to stand like 5 meters apart in a line. So let's say I was walking from here to your cafeteria over there. They're going to stand knowing that that's the path you're going to take 5 meters from you. And every one of them is going to salute you. And you're going to salute 30 times walking to the cafeteria. Okay? If they do that, it's because they love you. And if they don't, then they don't care about you, right? They're messing with you. But they will do it at some point if they like you. So, because like I said, you have to salute everyone that salutes you back. And if they're all scaggled up, right, they would all salute you once. You say, hey, good morning, and then move on. But yeah, they're going to do it. So I probably shouldn't have told you that. Hopefully you don't do it to me. Do it to Colonel Tyson or something. So we talked about when to salute. We talked about what colors are, right, nation flag, what they mean when they pass. That's a lot of drill and ceremony. If you want to know more about it, we have our color guard team. If that's your thing, go talk to whoever runs the color guard and join. I would say if you're here for 4 years, do it for 1 year, or just do it for a semester, just so you know, like, hey, I enjoyed that, or no, it wasn't for me. Right? And then we have national anthem, what you're supposed to do, military music. So let's see if I can do this Kahoot before we leave. Unless you guys want to practice Kahoot. Oh no, what was my Kahoot? I don't know this. Google. Yeah, sure. And host live. Okay, you guys got your phones? There's only 3 of you, so you're all going to podium today. That's good. Okay, make whatever name you want. Sparky. Sparky. Becker. Oh, Becker. All right. You got this. I believe in you. Which of these is a first lieutenant? Real simple. Which one is a first lieutenant? Oh no. What's this one? Who's this?
No, that's the chief warrant officer, highest one.
Chief Warrant Officer 5.
Yeah, I selected that one because it didn't load all the way, so I thought it was supposed to go with the color.
I mean, but it's pretty close. Again, when it's subdued, it's gonna be tough. You're behind. Good luck. No 5-star generals currently serving in the army. True or false? We have 4-star generals. Which of these is an enlisted rank? What rank is this?
This is a specialist.
That's a specialist. At what distance should you salute? I didn't cover that. Uh-oh. I failed you. 6 to 12 paces. Okay, so as we go, yeah, I guess I just totally walked right over that one. Paces. Okay, so 3 to 6 too close. 6 to 12.
Is that about 5 meters?
You want to walk? We'll do practical. So start at the door. I mean, you can watch him, I guess. He's on his catwalk. All right, so you're walking towards me at a normal pace. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop. 6. So from me to the door, that's about right. Okay? We're probably doing 1 or 2 more paces, right? 6 to 12 feet is only half of that. Right, your pace is about just under 3 feet. That's your step. So yeah, from me to the door, we're both walking. That actually looks about right. 3 to 6, close. How wide is the street? Okay, so if you're walking on the left side of the street, just a 1 lane each way, right? Like a city street. If I'm walking left side of the street and they're on the right side, going the opposite way, you don't salute. That's too far. Right? I'm like, no, it's weird. You're weird. I will say if you're on a base, there might be a lot less traffic. And if you know it's the general, then like, all right, just go salute. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah, so 10 to 12 paces. You might be too far away from them as well.
So essentially, knowing when to salute is just situational, for the most part.
You're going to feel it. Yeah, you're going to feel it. Because again, at the same time, you're walking to me and I'm walking at you, right? So while that was slow, you walking to me, if I'm walking at you, it's going to be half the pace. And some people walk really fast. Like, I don't know why some people just really like to walk fast. Like, it's their thing. Like, whoa. And they'll just be up on you. So, yeah, you're going to see. The point is, you want them to see your arm going up. You're giving them time to respond. So, if you're 3 to 6 paces and you're taking a step every 1.5 seconds, however fast you walk, you're giving that person like a second to respond to you. Like, oh, right? So yeah, 6 to 12 is appropriate. That's like 3 to 5 seconds to pass someone. So yeah, 3 to 6. If they're not walking, that makes sense as well, right? If they're just kind of standing there for whatever reason, and you're approaching them, then sure, that might have been too far, right? But you're gonna feel it. Again, it's a custom, it's a courtesy. You'll feel what's right. The other thing on this is you are only saluting the highest person walking. So if Colonel Tyson and I are walking together and Sergeant Lemon are walking together, all 3 of us, you are only saluting Colonel Tyson. You're not saluting us. We will not salute you either, okay? You or that group, the little gaggle people, are assuming the rank of the highest person, and it's the highest person's responsibility to walk with you, or just to render the salute, okay? So again, imagine it's weird. A general's walking with an E4 for whatever reason, and then you're a major or even a colonel. You're not saluting the enlisted private or specialist or anything, right? Like you're saluting the general. So again, that person is assuming the rank of their entourage in a way. Right? Yeah. I didn't explain it. That's on me. When do we start saluting the colors? So this is a rough estimate. And then if it's the 17th century, what year is that?
1600s.
1600s, right? It's the 17th century, so it's 1601 to 1699, or 1600 to 1699. We salute all officers of equal or greater rank than ourselves. False, why not?
We don't salute officers with the same rank.
Same rank, right? Yeah, again, that's great. We're both captains. I don't have to salute you. Woo-hoo. Which of these is the command sergeant major? Command sergeant. Which one's the first sergeant?
Orange, right?
Nope. Nope. All right. First sergeant is a diamond, right? It's a diamond. First sergeant. Sergeant major is just the star, and then the command sergeant major has the wreath. Right? And this should be a sergeant first class because it only has 2 rockers instead of 3. So I guess you guys hope that money fails. Douglas MacArthur was the last 5-star general. We're both. No, who was it?
Omar Bradley.
Omar Bradley. I actually mentioned him just for the sake of this question. Okay. There was a lot of 5-star generals in World War II.
Bureaucratic God complex.
Very, very powerful. All right, 909. Here we go. Which salute looks right? All right, this guy's British. This guy's Confederate. This person is sleepy. Okay, we didn't mention how you salute when you have a weapon in hand. Intuitively, unless you got it. Yeah, so palm up. That was a Confederate thing. It's still a British thing. Right. But yeah, this is the salute with when you're holding a rifle. All right, just push it out. Who won? Who's the best? Everyone gets a trophy. The Bronx Party. Oh no! Oh no! Who could it be? Yay! Maybe we'll bring like a or we can keep the session summary. There you go. Leave. All right. So that's 10:04. Give you guys 4 minutes extra. Kind of ad lib there on the end. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss related to customs and courtesies? Got a feeling for it? Okay. Stop the video.